Welcome to Lesson 3 of our Hibernate series. Today we're focusing on data querying in Hibernate using the Hibernate Query Language, or HQL, and the Criteria API. By the end of this lesson, you'll know how to retrieve and manipulate data effectively, taking full advantage of Hibernate's query tools. Let's get started. Let's kick things off with the Hibernate Query Language. HQL is similar to SQL, but works with entities rather than direct database tables, allowing you to work in a more object-oriented way. For example, you can use and to query data based on Java classes. An example of a basic HQL query might look like this. This retrieves all students with a grade above 80, focusing on entity fields, not database columns. Now let's explore more advanced HQL features. HQL includes powerful functions like and for aggregation. For example, calculates the average grade of all students. You can use joins in HQL to link multiple entities. For instance, a join between an entities lets you pull information from both. To prevent SQL injection, HQL supports parameterized queries. By using parameters, you can ensure your queries are safe and more efficient. The Criteria API is another way to build Hibernate queries. Unlike HQL, which uses string-based queries, Criteria is type-safe and leverages Java objects, which makes it easy to catch errors at compile time. With Criteria, you can create complex queries without hard-coding SQL statements. For example, if you want to retrieve all students with grades above a certain threshold, you could use to filter results. Using restrictions and projections in Criteria API. Restrictions allow you to filter data by specific criteria, similar to the clause in SQL. For example, you can set to filter for grades above 80. With projections, you can select specific fields rather than entire objects, making data retrieval faster and reducing memory use, especially for large data sets. Named queries and native SQL. Hibernate also supports named queries, allowing you to define reusable queries directly in your entity classes. These queries are pre-compiled, making them efficient and easy to manage. Finally, if needed, you can execute raw SQL within Hibernate. While HQL and Criteria are more commonly used, native SQL is useful for complex database operations or when interacting with non-entity data. Practical exercise. To wrap up, here's a practical exercise. Write queries in both HQL and Criteria API to retrieve data and apply aggregations or joins. For instance, create an HQL query to calculate the average grade across all students and use Criteria to fetch a list of students enrolled in a specific course. Conclusion. That's a wrap on HQL and the Criteria API. These tools empower you to retrieve and manipulate data easily and safely within Hibernate. Join us next time for even more advanced techniques in Hibernate. Happy querying!